Hi, Wonder Class, and welcome to our lesson on Tuesday, the 2nd of February 2021. So, we are learning about non chronological reports. The learning objective for today's lesson is: can I write out the first section of our non chronological report about Mrs Bowen? So, in Monday's lesson, we looked at boxing up the information collected about Mrs Bowen. So, I'm just going back to Monday's lesson, and we had something that looked like this. This was the box up. Lots of information about Mrs Bowen that was collected, and then it was put into a box up. So we are going to be using that today to write out the first section, so probably the introduction part today mainly. Now, before we start writing the introduction and I show you how to do that, let's have a look at the starter activity. So we're going to create sentences with some useful sentence starters. So here attached to the screen is a link. So if I take us to the link, I'm just going to create a new share and go to the link. I can show you this spin the wheel, which we often use. So if I spin the wheel, and then it will stop at a word. Okay, so we're going to use the word often. So if I go back to our screen before, we can use the word often. So the aim of it is that you use that link to take you to using useful sentence starters on spin the wheel. So if I insert a new blank page and I start with the word often, because that's the word we're trying to use. So often, if I'm going to use the word often in my non-chronological report, I might say often Mrs Bowen would enjoy spending time with her friends, family. So using this sentence starter, I can see how I can use the word often in my sentence just to make it a little bit more interesting. So you can have a go yourself by going to that website, spinning the wheel, and see if you can use some of those sentence starters in your sentences as well, which also might come in when you come to the editing part of your work. So have a go with that. Obviously, you can pause the video, write some sentences, write them on a whiteboard or on a piece of paper and post them onto Tapestry for me to have a look at. So let's look at the box up ideas that we wrote down in yesterday's lesson. So here was our box up. We had our text map box up, and then we had our innovation for Mrs Bowen. So we've got the introduction, we have early life, we've got first interests and hobbies as a plan to begin our writing. So I have already written the introduction, but let's have a look how I managed to do that. So I went to my plan and I saw that I had written in the innovation part for introduction to Mrs Bowen, sentences you will need to read on to find out more information, and I would use a rhetorical question. So let's see what I've written. So here's my introduction from the use of the planned box up. Have you ever wondered what makes a fantastic leader? Question mark. Question mark, that's a rhetorical question. Read on to find out all about the wonderful Mrs Bowen and how she led her school to be unique, special and outstanding. So there I have my subheading and my small introductory paragraph, which includes capital letters, punctuation and a rhetorical question as well. So here are your 3 tasks for today. And it's really important to note how I've used my box up to then create my paragraph, because I haven't actually written sentences in my box up. I've just written small bullet point or small sentences, and then I've expanded the sentences in order to form this introductory paragraph. So let's see if you can have a go today. So your first activity is to write out the introduction for your box up that you've planned. So that was from yesterday's lesson. Task number 2 is choose 5 of the sentence starters below and create your own sentence about Mrs Bowen, or you might even use Spin the Wheel app. And task number 3 is write your own introduction for the non-chronological report about Mrs Bowen. So have a go at doing that on your own. So those are your 3 activities for today's English lesson, and I will see you all in the next lesson. Bye everyone.